Al-Wabra covers an area of 2.5 square kilometer, holding more than 480 cages, aviaries, and enclosures. Al-Wabra Wildlife Preservation's animal staff consists of more than 50 people divided into veterinarians, curators, biologists, and wild animal keepers. Another 150 support staff, including maintenance, constructions, and horticulture, also work at Al-Wabra Wildlife Preservation. Al-Wabra Wildlife Preservation is an associated member of the European Association of Zoos and Aquaria, the only member in Qatar. This is a quality stamp acknowledging that Al-Wabra works towards the highest standards in the captive care of wild animals. Al-Wabra Wildlife Preservation is an internationally reputed research and conservation center collaborating with several government and non-government organizations across the world. Next, we move to the location. Al-Wabra Wildlife Preservation is close to the town of Al-Shihaniya in central Qatar. Lubara Farm accommodates Al-Wabra Wildlife Preservation. This private breeding and research center is home to a collection of wild and exotic animal species, either rare in captivity or threatened in the wild. The preservation is non-commercial and not open to the public. Sheikh Saud bin Muhammad bin Ali Al Thani, a Qatari national and hailed as one of the foremost art collectors in the world, has a deep interest in wildlife conservation. Al-Wabra was initially a hobby farm. In the past 12 years, Al-Wabra Wildlife Preservation has traveled a rigorous path to complete the transition from a private animal collection to an internationally recognized research and breeding center for threatened species. Furthermore, we move to the facilities provided at Al-Wabra Wildlife Preservation. In 2007, the 3,600 square meter main building was completed. It accommodates the veterinary laboratory, wild animal hospital, pharmacy, storage rooms, nurseries, food kitchens, offices, and a lecture room. The latter facilitates education sessions, workshops, and lectures. Collaboration with universities exists, educating future generations of wildlife experts and also ensuring the evaluation of Al-Wabra Wildlife Preservation's scientific data. School tours are an almost daily occurrence. Moreover, Al-Wabra Wildlife Preservation is working to integrate the tours into the school syllabus in Qatar. All staff live on site in modern purpose-built accommodation. Al-Wabra Wildlife Preservation wants to create a world where extinction of species and loss of habitat is stopped and even reversed by being a global leader in education, research, and conservation of endangered animals and their habitats. The animal collection includes just above 2,000 wild animals consisting of 90 different species, including 60% of mammals, 35% of birds, 4% of reptiles, and 1% of amphibians or fish. Many of the species are endangered and are managed through European Endangered Species Programs (EEP) or regional and national species plans.
Since 1980s, there are heavy repeated attempts to maintain and breed Vera antelope at Al-Wabra Wildlife Preservation, or known as AWWP, at Qatar. With little success, most animals died because of malnutrition, heat, and also parasitic. Because of this animal is easy to get infection, and also because of Vera antelope are very territorial and sedentary. Goat and sheep herds kept in nomadic system represent a serious threat in terms of resource competition and infectious disease. This is because the barrier antelope are very selective grazer, and with increasing population and growing number of boreholes that facilitate nomad access to preserved area, this threat is increasing to the species. Habitat fragmentation, hunting, droughts, and soil erosion are additional threat to the species. So the husbandry and management, the animal enclosure at this place included a 36 meter square house and special of corridor of 2 meters width, comprise an average area of 900 meters square. The house is equipped with air conditioning, which is considered essential at temperature above 35 degrees Celsius. The animals have a permanent access to the outdoor enclosure and the house. As the antelope did not use bedding material, this is no longer offered, except in cases of illness and or exhaustion cold. In these cases, infrared heaters are installed indoors and are regularly used by the animals. In the colder months, which is December to March, animals are allowed indoors overnight and the houses are heated with electrical heaters, so the ambient temperature is maintained at 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, for feeding and diet, the feedstuff currently used in the diet of Vera antelope of AWP are the natural vegetation growing in the enclosure and in the planted corridor. The amount of food taken for this growing vegetation is minimal as compared with the diet offered. Roast twigs and fresh lichens are hung from the fences or mesh protecting the vegetation in the enclosure. The other feeds are given in elevated food bowls of varying height that are distributed around the enclosure, an important measure for limiting access to food by rats and mice. A high number of these bowls and their distribution across the enclosure encourage the animal to spend more time foraging and allow individuals of lower status to access food at the same time as the dominant animals. Part of the mineral leaks and the mineral available via the compound feeds. An additional mineral mix is fed to the animals, either mixed into the fruits and vegetables or dissolved into water or spread into the broods. Fresh water are available, although the animal drinks from the water for the vegetation. Based on observation of free-ranging animals, Vieira antelope breeding groups are at AWP consists of 1 adult male and 3 to 4 adult female and their offspring. The male is never separate from the group, but breeding male or 2 male are exchanged based on their age, health, and genetic representation in the population. There is also only one case of the female that consistently neglect its offspring. Okay, for the routine work such as daily feeding, cleaning, watering, monitoring, and have led to a Vieira antelope being a very habitual to human contact, resulting in calm, companionable groups. Individual animals even take food from the hands of the keeper. Enclosures are nearly always entered by the keeping personnel with the animal present, with the exception of work that result in high nose production such as tree felling. Okay, to improve the management and assessment, there's no such big thing, but in safety and security, we can for a better one, which is put a more CCTV or color coded next door doors, pull system next door doors, and also main for the cleanliness and hygiene. The keeper is must healthy and free from any disease. Next door enclosure and waste disposal are be disposed in the safest way, so there is no infection to the animals. So we down to the last slide, we see the recommendation and the conclusion. So for the recommendation, to take less number of animals that the center can hold, because most animals live in a group. So why not we widen the place of sanctuary, because of the income is very big, and also open the place for the educational purposes, so we can give out more awareness to the people and also to the young age. So for in the conclusion, the Vieira antelope is recognized as a species that is in a danger and require protection. So AWP is an important input to the body of knowledge that is currently held by the scientific community regarding this species. The understanding will continue to serve as the foundation of all future in the in situ and ex situ conservation effort for the migratory, which is the Vieira antelope. So regardless of what happened to the current AWP population. So that's all from us. Thank you.